it's Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and today I'm going to teach you how to crochet the Moogly square number 19 of 2025 for the Moogly crochet along. I am so excited. I designed this one right here, which is a brick Mosaic Crochet granny square. We're going to work our way from the center outward, and we're going to use two colors, and you're going to see a switch happening here where the center part of it has the bricks itself being white, and then over here the bricks turn the burgundy color. You can use other colors. In fact, I'm going to use a different color for the tutorial just that you can see how it looks like with a different color. They're both going to be the same yarn. So I'm using Heartland yarn from Lion Brand for this, and the white yarn can be any worsted yarn. I happen to use another yarn that I had from Lion Brand that was also white. I believe that was Basic Stitch. So you can use that, and you can use again any other color as well. You're also going to need a 6mm hook for this project, and then that's all you need. And of course the written instructions for this granny square, which by the way is 12 times 12 inches in diameter. Now you want to block it to make sure it actually is 12 times 12 inches, especially if you're part of the Moogly crochet along. All of them are 12 inches square, so you do want to make sure they're all the same. But anyways, so if you need the written instructions, check out the link down below in the description. It will take you straight over to our website. You will have the written instructions right there, free to view, but are not printable or downloadable unless you purchase the PDF, which you can find on Ravelry or Etsy. You can also join my membership, the Crochet Club, which has over 500 ad-free patterns, and this one is also included. We also meet twice a month on Zoom, so we have a lot of fun. There's like 6 to 7 virtual meetups every single month in the Crochet Club. Anyways, just a little side note, but be sure to check out Moogly's crochet along of 2025 and all the other squares that were already submitted by all the other designers, because they're incredible. You do want to check those out. There's a link for that in the description that takes you to my website, and from there you can hop over to Moogly's crochet along for all the information on that. All right, let's get started on this really fun square together. We're going to start with the white color, or at least that's what I'm starting with. As I said, you can switch it up if you like. We're going to start with a magic ring for round 1, and we're going to add a chain of 1. It doesn't count as a stitch. It's just going to be there to hold the magic ring in place, because if I let go, it'll nicely stay how it's supposed to. I keep my ring finger in the magic ring to make it easier to crochet with. And we're going to add 8 single crochets to the ring. And once you're done with that, you're going to do a slip stitch. Now, I like to do the invisible slip stitch because that way the transitions from one round to another are much prettier. So let me show you how that looks like. So I have here my 8 single crochet stitches. I'm going to close up my ring, and I'm going to do the invisible slip stitch. So hopefully you can see that with the white yarn. I'm going to show it to you with the other yarn as well, so no worries. It's going to be easier to see probably with the other one. But the idea is that you're taking out your hook out of your loop, and you're going to insert it from the back to the front on the very first stitch. So this one right here is the very first stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook from the back to the front. Only in the very first round, it's a little tricky because, you know, after pulling the magic ring closed, you're kind of pulling on that very first stitch. So it's a little bit tight sometimes, okay? So the very first stitch, you're going to pull it through, and now you're going to put your loop back on your hook and you pull that one through. So that is your invisible slip stitch. It really is just a relocation of the loop, but it counts as a slip stitch because we're connecting the first with the last stitch together. And now all you're doing is dropping your yarn. So I like to make a bigger loop. You can of course also just attach a stitch marker so that way you're not losing it, but you're dropping your yarn, you're not doing anything else with it. And now you're going to pick up your new color. Okay, so make a slip knot, and you're going to insert your hook into the very first stitch, pull your loop through, and make a chain of 1. That is not absolutely necessary, but it can help here in order to make your stitches a little bit easier to see. So again, you don't have to do the chain of 1. You can also skip that part. All right, from now on, you're going to crochet all single crochet stitches in the back loop only. It's in the written instructions. All single crochet stitches are in a back loop only. We're also going to do a stitch called the Mosaic double crochet stitch. I'll get to it when we actually going to crochet it. That is going to be done in the front loop. But we're only going to do single crochets in the back loop only. There are going to be some stitches that go into the corner. That's a little bit different. You'll see that later. Okay, so we're going to crochet one single crochet first. So again, these are all done in the back loop. So the very first one, as I said, is a little bit tricky sometimes because that stitch that was a little tight. So make a single crochet in the very first one, all done in the back loop, remember? And then the next stitch is going to be the corner stitch. So I'm going to call it the corner stitch from now on. It's going to be the same style every single round. It's going to be called the corner stitch or C stitch, however you want to call it. In the written instructions, I'm just going to put a C, and the C equals one single crochet in the back loop only, chain of 2, and then another single crochet, also back loop only in that same stitch. That's going to be your corner stitch, C, in the written instructions, okay? All in the back loop. Now you're going to go into the next stitch and you're going to repeat now what we just did. So single and then corner stitch. So that means a single crochet stitch, a chain of 2, and another single crochet stitch, all in the same stitch. Repeat this all the way around. That should be 4 times in total. And then you're going to finish it up with a slip stitch. Again, I like to make the invisible slip stitch. You can do the regular one, but it's going to be a little bit more obvious that the slip stitch is there. So I do recommend doing the invisible slip stitch. So let me show you how that looks like when you do the invisible slip stitch. Again, you pull out your loop. You're going to go into the very first stitch from the back to the front, not the chain of 1. Chain of 1 doesn't count. So into the very first stitch, you're going to put that loop back on your hook and you're simply going to pull it back. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to go into the next round. So you're going to drop your colored yarn. I just call it the colored yarn, and then we have the white yarn. So we're going to pick up our white yarn again, and we're going to pull it through the very first stitch. Now you can do the back loop or both loops. It's totally up to you. We're going to start with a single crochet stitch in the back loop only. So I'm just going to pull it through the back loop. Once you pulled it through, make a chain of 1. Again, that does not count as a stitch. And you're going to do 1 single crochet per stitch, all done at back loop, until you hit your corner. So right here's your corner. That's going to be that chain of 2 space right there. And into the chain of 2 space, you're going to crochet your corner stitch the same way as before. So that means a single crochet stitch, chain of 2, and a single crochet stitch. Be aware there's no back loop here. As I said, the corner will be done slightly different once you get to a certain point, which is now. You're just going to go into the chain of 2 space and you're going to crochet single crochet stitch, chain of 2, single crochet stitch. Now, once you've done that, you're going to repeat, right? So you're going to do 1 single crochet per stitch until you hit the corner. So again, these are all back loops only. And then into the corner, you're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch, chain of 2, and a single crochet stitch. Now go ahead and do this all the way around and finish with a slip stitch and then change back to the other color. All right, we're in the next round. You're now going to crochet something called the Mosaic double crochet stitch, which is simply a double crochet stitch made into the front loop 2 rows down to the exact same color. Okay, so in this case, I'm using here this colored, which the color. Anyways, it's that green color, right? And you're going to go down here to that front loop. But remember to make a chain of 1 first. Regardless if you're doing single or mosaic double crochet stitches, you do want that just to get a little bit distance right there. So you're going to crochet your double crochet stitch into that front loop that you left over 2 rows down. Okay, so right here, I did my yarn over. I'm going to insert it into that front loop, yarn over, pull through, and finish it up like a regular double crochet stitch. That is now done as your mosaic double crochet stitch. Ta-da! Now we're going to go to the next stitch. We're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch, again back loop only, until you hit your corner. So that would be 1 mosaic double crochet stitch here, 2 single crochet stitches, so 1 per stitch, and now the corner. And then you're going to see this over here again. So it's going to be 2 singles, mosaic double, 2 singles, corner, and so forth. So again, the corner is done as we've done before, single, chain of 2, single, and then again, you're going to do your 2 single crochet stitches in the back loop only. And then you're going to do your mosaic double, which is right here in that center. Okay, so between the 2 singles, you're going to have that mosaic double. So yarn over, go down to the same color in that front loop, yarn over, pull through, and then finish it up as a double crochet stitch. Now go ahead and do this all the way around, finish with a slip stitch, and switch back to white. All right. We're now going to repeat the previous row that we've done in white. It's just going to have a few extra stitches, but it's the same style. So, which means once we pulled up our yarn, make sure, by the way, you're not tangling any yarn, like untangled in the back if there's ever a tangle happening. I usually keep one yarn on one side and the other yarn on the other side, so that way nothing gets tangled. As I said, you make a chain of 1, and now we're going to crochet 1 single crochet. Again, singles are all done in a back loop only. Per stitch until you hit the corner. So in this case, it should be 4 single crochet stitches in a row, and then you hit the corner right here. This is the corner stitch, which is a single with a chain of 2 and another single. And then you have 1 single per stitch until the end. So that should be 7 over here. Or technically it's 3 plus 4, but you're going to see the edges are going to have 7, right? You're now going to repeat this until the end. So again, 1 single crochet per stitch until you hit the corner, and then you're going to crochet the corner and keep going. You're going to finish up this round with a slip stitch as before, and then you switch colors, and then we're going to go into the next round. In the next round with the green color, I'm going to crochet 1 single crochet in 2 stitches. Of course, I started with a chain of 1. Again, singles are all in the back loop only. And now you're going to crochet a mosaic double crochet down. Okay, so yarn over, go to that front loop 2 rows down in the same color, yarn over, pull through, and finish it up like a double crochet stitch. Now you have 2 more single crochet stitches in a row, and then you're going to go into the corner, and the corner stitch is going to be as before, single, chain of 2, and a single crochet stitch. Now you're going to repeat what we've done before, slightly different. Now you're going to do this backwards. Okay, so you're going to do single, single, then it's going to be mosaic double crochet stitch down, and you have 1 more single. Now you're going to repeat what you've done before. Okay, so let me show you again. So this is the repeat. 2 singles in a row, mosaic double, 2 singles, corner, 2 singles, mosaic double, 1 single. Now you start over, which means again 2 singles. You can also say that here in the center there's 3 in total, but it's 1 plus 2, right? Then again mosaic double, and now you keep going as before. 2 singles, corner, then 2 singles, and then mosaic double down, and then 1 single, and then do it again until the very end. And don't forget your slip stitch and switch back to the white. All right, in the next round, you're going to crochet with white, chain of 1, and you're going to do it the same way as you've done before, which means 1 single crochet per stitch until you hit the corner. Again, singles are done in back loop only. And right here, I just did 6 in a row, and now I'm going to do the corner stitch. So it's single, 2 chains, and a single, and then I have 5 more single crochets in a row, and then I have to repeat over and over again the same thing. So that means 4 repeats as before, and then finish it up with a slip stitch and then switch back to the other color. All right, this is how it looks like so far. We're now going to go into the next round. After making a chain of 1, we're going to start with a mosaic double crochet stitch. So again, that is into the front loop 2 rows down in the same color. So mosaic double crochet stitch. Now you're going to make 2 single crochet stitches, again all done in the back loop. Then we're going to do a mosaic double. Now you're going to crochet 3 single crochets in a row. Remember, singles are done in the back loop only. And then the next stitch is going to be a mosaic double crochet stitch. And then you have 2 singles, 1 and 2, and then we have our corner stitch. So single, chain of 2, and single. And now we're going to do 2 singles. By the way, make sure you're never skipping that first single crochet stitch. Sometimes that is kind of hidden a little bit. Don't forget that. So as I said, 2 singles, then a mosaic double crochet stitch, and then 3 single crochet stitches. Now you're going to start this over. Okay, so just like we started here, we're going to start with a mosaic double, 3 singles, mosaic double, 2 singles, corner, 2 singles, mosaic double, 3 singles. Do this all the way around and then finish with a slip stitch and switch back to white. All right, this is how it looks like so far. You're now going to go up with the white. As I said, you're going to make a chain of 1 and you're going to crochet the single crochet round just like you've done before. That means 1 single crochet per stitch, all done in the back loop only, until you hit the corner, and in the corner you're going to crochet the corner stitch, and then you're going to do this all the way around, finish with a slip stitch as before, and then switch colors again back to the other color. Okay, we're now transitioning to the next section. So we now did the center part right here. We're now transitioning into this area. So which means we're now about to switch these color combinations. So we have to do this stripe here in between in order to make that happen. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch even with this color. So it's pretty much repeating what we just did, it's just that it's an additional stitch. So make your chain of 1, and then in every stitch you're going to make your single crochet stitch. Again, they're all in the back loop only, and when you hit the corner, you're going to crochet the corner stitch. You're going to do this all the way around, finish with a slip stitch, and then switch back to white just like you've done before. All right, so this is how it looks like so far. You're now going to crochet with white, chain of 1, and you're going to repeat what you've done before. Yes, we do one more round of this. So 1 single crochet per stitch, all done in a back loop, of course. And when you hit the corner, you're going to do the corner stitch, and you're going to do this all the way around, and you're going to finish with a slip stitch. I promise the next round's going to look a little different, but it's still going to be super duper fun. So let's finish this round and we'll switch back to the other color. We're now going into the next round. So we're going to start again with a chain of 1. And this time in this round, we're going to do mostly mosaic double crochet stitches all the way around. Okay, so this is the part that I showed you earlier on this square right here. It's going to be this part, and you're going to have a few single crochet stitches here in the back, but it's mostly going to be mosaic double crochet stitches. All right. So after you chain of 1, you're going to go down and find that front loop as before, and you're going to crochet your mosaic double crochet into it. And you're going to do this pretty much until the end. So you're going to count 10 mosaic double crochet stitches, then it's going to be 1 single, corner, 1 single, and then 9 mosaic double crochet stitches, and then you're going to repeat. So that means per row here, per edge, I should say, that means per edge you should see 19 mosaic double crochet stitches. So I'm going to do this now. So this is 2, 10. So pretty much, if you want to look at it a different way, until you run out of front loops to crochet with. So there should be 10 in a row. Then you're going to do 1 single crochet in a back loop only, and your corner stitch. And then again, 1 single crochet stitch in the back loop only, and then the rest of it is going to be mosaic double crochet stitches again. You're going to do this all the way around and finish with a slip stitch, and then we go into the next round with white. Okay, when you're done, it's going to look like this. So you have this beautiful, let's call it a stripe, right, all the way around in the mosaic double crochet stitches. We're now going back to the white, and with the white, you're going to crochet what you've done before, which is 1 single crochet per stitch all the way around. As I said before, singles are done in a back loop only. And I started the row with a chain of 1, of course. And once you reach the corner, you're going to crochet the corner stitch as you have done before. And you're going to do this all the way around, and you're going to finish it up with a slip stitch as before and switch back to the other color. Once you're done, it's going to look like this. And in this round, we're going to use the other color, and we're going to repeat this round one more time, which means after a chain of 1, you're going to do 1 single crochet per stitch, all the way around. You do the corner stitch as normal, and quick reminder again, single crochet stitches are done in the back loop only. And when you're finished, you're going to do a slip stitch as before. As I said, I always like to do the invisible slip stitch as I showed you in the beginning. And then you're going to switch back to the white as we've done before. And then we're going to do something different with the white. Once you're done, you're going to go into the next round with white, and this time we're going to crochet with white the mosaic double crochet stitches. So it's going to be the same style as down here, but in a different color. So we're going to start with a chain of 1, and we're going to start also with a mosaic double crochet stitch. So yarn over and then insert, but this time you're going to go into the white. Remember, we're going 2 rows down into the same color, so the front loop of the same color. Remember, sometimes the first stitch is a little bit tighter. So here we go, mosaic double crochet stitch, and now we're going to crochet 3 singles, all done in the back loop, of course. So 3 singles, 1 per stitch, then again a mosaic double crochet stitch into the front loop, 2 rows down, then again 3 singles, 1, 2, and 3, then a mosaic double crochet stitch. Again, 3 singles, 1, 2, and 3. And then we have 1 mosaic double crochet stitch over here, and a single crochet stitch, and now the corner stitch. So as I said before, corner stitch is single, 2 chains, and a single. And now we're pretty much working our way backwards. So we're going to start with a single crochet stitch, and then a mosaic double, and then again 3 singles, mosaic double, 3 singles, and a mosaic double, and 3 singles. And then you're going to repeat that entire sequence all the way around. So this is one of the repeats that I just showed you. Now you're going to do this all the way around until the end, finish with a slip stitch, and change back to the other color. All right, let's go into the next round. So the next round is going to be again in the color, and you're going to crochet a chain of 1, and you're going to go over all the way around and crochet your single crochet stitches as before. So again, they're all in the back loop only. So 1 single crochet stitch per stitch until you hit the corner. The corner is going to be the corner stitch as before. And when you finish the entire round, you're going to finish with a slip stitch as before, and then you're going to start again with the other color, which is the white color. Switch back to it with a chain of 1, and we're going to go into the next round. Let's go into the next round. You're going to do a chain of 1, as I said, and you're going to start with 2 single crochet stitches, back loop only, of course, and then a mosaic double crochet stitch down to the front loop of the same color, 2 rows down. Now again, 1 single crochet in 3 stitches, then a mosaic double crochet stitch. Then you're going to repeat this a few times. So you're going to do the mosaic double crochet with the 3 single crochet stitches 3 times in total. So we just did 1 time. This will be the 2nd time, and now the 3rd time. So the repeat part would be the mosaic double crochet stitches with 3 singles. And then you have 1 more mosaic double crochet stitch right here at the very end, pretty much when you run out of front loops. Then you have 1 single, and then the corner. Then you're going to work your way back as before. So you're going to start with 1 single, then 1 mosaic double crochet stitch, and then 3 singles. And you're going to repeat this section right here, the mosaic double and 3 singles 3 times. Then you have a mosaic double, and you have 1 single. Now that is now the repeat that you're going to repeat over and over again. So you can see there's always 3 in between here, but we started with 2 over here, and therefore there's 1 left over here of that repeat, and then I'm going to start over. So that means the next 2 is going to be singles again, and then you're going to repeat this entire section 4 times in total, finish up with a slip stitch, and change back to the other color. All right, in the next round, you're going to do your chain of 1 as normal, and you're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch, again, all in the back loop only, until you hit the corner. When you get to the corner, you're going to crochet your 1 single crochet, chain of 2, and 1 single crochet as normal for the corner stitch, and then you do this all the way around until you hit the end. You're going to do your slip stitch per normal, and you're going to switch back to the white color. All right, in the next round, this is our very last round in white. We're going to make a chain of 1 and then 1 single crochet per stitch. So pretty much repeat what you just did in the other color, but this time in white. So 1 single crochet per stitch until you hit the corner. You do the corner stitch as you normally do. You do this all the way around and you finish up with a slip stitch. You can then cut your white and weave it in. We have one more round in the other color to do, and keep in mind that my gauge might be different from yours. So in case you already hit your 12 inches across, you may stop early. If you have tighter tension, you may need to add a few extra rows or rounds, I should say, in maybe single crochet stitches or double crochet stitches or something. If you feel like that is absolutely needed, you can totally do that. The important thing is to hit the 12 times 12 inches for the dimensions of your square. Ideally, you want to block your square after to make sure it all looks pretty and neat and straight. And as I said, we do one more round in the other color to finish up this square for this specific pattern. So let me finish my white round and then we go into the other color one more time. All right, let's finish the very last round. We're going to start obviously with a chain of 1, and then we're going to do our mosaic double crochet stitch in this color though, not the white. So we're going to finish the very last round with mosaic double crochet stitches all the way around. If you feel like you're not even going to reach the 12 inches all the way around, you can easily just, instead of going to the front loop, you can go into the regular single crochet stitches, here the white ones, and then crochet your double crochet stitches. It's going to make it a little bit bigger. You may have to adjust your corner stitch though, because we're going from mosaic double to single, so you may have to adjust it over there and do double. But if your tension is tighter, you may have to do that or add additional rounds after. Anyways, so I'm going to finish here with the mosaic double crochet stitches, 1 stitch per stitch, until you pretty much run out of front loops, and then you have 1 single right here and the corner. And then you're going to repeat this all the way around. So around the corner is pretty much 1 single crochet stitch because there's no front loop where you can crochet into. So let me say this again, 1 mosaic double crochet stitch per stitch until you run out of front loops. You have 1 single, the corner stitch, 1 single, and then again mosaic double crochet stitches all the way around. Finish up with a slip stitch, weave in your ends, block it, and then you're done. I'm going to show you both of them after I'm done here so you can see them next to each other with 2 different colors. It looks absolutely stunning, so I'm excited to show you. So let me snap right to it. And this is how they look like finished. Isn't that so pretty? I absolutely love it. I wish my camera would pick up the colors a little bit better, but you can see in the written pattern, the pictures is this color looks really, really pretty. It's more of a bluish green color. So, and then this is the burgundy color. I absolutely love how this turned out. So the back of it is of course striped because that is the regular overlay mosaic crochet technique, and we don't need the back to be anything different than that. Because you guys are going to turn this into an Afghan, right? These squares are absolutely stunning. I'm so excited that this is how they turned out, and I would love to see your Moogly squares using this pattern. So be sure to tag me if you are sharing them on social media. So I also have a Facebook group called Crocheting with Nikki, so that way you can post it in there as well. You also have Moogly's group where all the Afghan squares are being shared at, so make sure you join her group as well if you haven't joined it yet. Now make sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what yarn colors you're picking to turn these squares into your own creations. I would love to know which ones you're using. Maybe even bonus points, let me know which yarn you're using and whether or not you had to add extra rows or remove some rows, because I'm kind of curious if your gauge is a little different than mine. Don't forget to hit the share button. You want to tell your crochet besties that we made these beautiful squares and inspire them to make them too, and maybe even join the Moogly crochet along. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell to get a notification next time I publish a new video or go live. I'll see you then. Bye!